All right. With some good news, we hope.
I think it is good news. Like I said, I'm glad I don't live in Europe. But we have a lunar eclipse. This is the companion eclipse. The first one on this axis was December 21st as far as lunar eclipses go. And lunar eclipses always bring emotional things to the forefront. It takes about 18 months for the eclipse cycle to complete itself. So the things that occur over the next week or so are actually things that had their origins about a week before Christmas. And it's really designed for you to make changes to get more emotional gratification out of your life. So for Gemini, since the eclipse, the moon is in Sagittarius, it's in their sign for Geminis, they need to realize their partners have the upper hand. And they need to come to some kind of terms with their partners that will enable both the Gemini and the Sagittarian to have equal rights inside the relationship, because that's really what it's about. For Cancers, I think this is a very difficult eclipse for them. They are finishing up 2 years' worth of activity, and they need to finish it up rather than start new projects. The new projects can start on the 1st of July, but they need to give a little bit more than they get because it's good for their soul. For Leos, this eclipse is about children, amusement, sports, children of the mind, ideas that you give birth to, that you've been trying to give birth to since December. Take another step forward towards becoming a reality in your life. So it's part of that manifesting stuff for Leos, and it's a pretty good time.
But I'm going to ask you one thing here, on a personal note now. Coming up this Saturday when I'm out at Ackerman Jewelers, it is 6 years to the date and day, the day before Father's Day, that I had my accident. And from Ackerman, the day before Father's Day, am I okay on Saturday?
Yeah, you'll be okay because the outer planets have moved on. Saturn had been in Virgo. There were a bunch of other very heavy afflictions to your Mars, and those are not there now.
Okay.
So, no, you should be okay with that. I'd still wear my seatbelt, take the biggest truck I could.
Take the big truck. That's what
I think that's always good advice.
Okay, gotcha.
So, no, but it's a good time for the creative process for Leo to come out. For Virgos, this is in their 4th house of home, and they have to be careful because they have put so much effort into their career lately that they have really been neglecting their home and family, and they're quite verbal about it this week and saying, hey, you need to make time for us as well. So for Virgo, it's better to pay attention to your home than your profession over the next couple of weeks or so. For Libra, it's in their 3rd house of day-to-day living, places to go, people to see, contracts to negotiate, new deals to sign. And they actually have more leverage than they know that they do. And this is also something they've been working on since December, can come to be now for them. For Scorpios, it's about the money. And the thing with Scorpios are, they're spending more than they have. And that's the trouble with that, is they did real well, they got a little financial boost, and they think that's going to last forever, and it doesn't. And I don't want to see them get behind the power curve, so they need to really modify their expenses. For Sagittarians, this eclipse is in their sign. Partners' rights versus your rights. And the Sagittarian wants more freedom of movement inside the partnership, and they're very, very likely to get that. So it's more about you than your partner. You were pleasing them for the last 6 months. Now it's time for the Sagittarian to get some personal gratification and expand their own interests. For Capricorns, this is in their 12th house of their own undoing. So Capricorns have an opportunity to take 2 crummy jobs and make them into one decent job. And they have to not let their pride get in the way of them doing that. And that's the biggest challenge, is Capricorns need to change their mind about how they think about something, because that's what limits them. For Aquarians, 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives, team effort, male friends, a group effort pays off for them. For Pisces, the judge steps on up. And I got to tell you, Casey Anthony is a Pisces, and I'm not thinking that the judge is going to go, yeah, you haven't proved your case. I'm pretty sure that will go on, and she'll have to defend herself and then be found guilty. Because she is. For Aries, it is in their 9th house of the law. Legal, educational matters, important matters at a distance. Aries are going to need over the next 2 weeks or so to do something in person. If they're going to beg for mercy, in person is the way to do that. And they do very well with important matters at a distance, which I think bodes well for the Bruins. For Taurus is the last sign. This is in other people's resources flowing their way. Tauruses want to take advantage of somebody else's resource rather than coming out of their own pocket. Somebody else's money will be the thing that will probably come through for them. And they benefit from unearned income rather than earned income. But it's a result of labor they've done since December 21st. So that's tomorrow's news today. And I meant to mention Representative Weiner gives Virgos a bad name everywhere, and I don't think that guy can survive and keep his office. I don't think that's going to happen. I think not only is he going to have to quit, not only will he quit, I think that the details aren't going to help him out in the least, and get worse, and he needs to go.
We don't need that kind of person in a position of power. Regardless of what side of the politic aisle he's on.
Yeah.
This guy's a perv. He needs help, and he needs to get out of there.
Well, he's got a moon in Leo. I guess he thought everybody really wanted to see it. They'd be really proud of that. And it's like, oh, dude, my eyes are bleeding.
Yeah, really. No kidding.
Eek.
Thank you, my dear.
Always a pleasure.
See you next Wednesday.
You too.